What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Buckle up because today we're diving into one of the craziest projected NFL storylines heading into the 2026 season. And yes, the Kansas City Chiefs are right in the center of the storm once again. The NFL schedule hasn't officially dropped yet, but fans are already circling blockbuster matchups. And one game has everybody talking: Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs traveling to Seattle for a heavyweight showdown against the defending champion Seahawks. But before we go deeper, we need to address something important: Chiefs Kingdom. Parts of this original report appear to be speculative or fictionalized. Patrick Mahomes suffering a torn ACL, the Chiefs missing the playoffs, Kenneth Walker joining Kansas City, and Seattle winning the Super Bowl have not been confirmed in real NFL reporting. So in this video, we're adapting the story into a realistic discussion piece and focusing on the possible hype, drama, and implications if these scenarios were ever to happen. And honestly, even without the fake headlines, Chiefs versus Seahawks would still be must-watch television. Because anytime Patrick Mahomes steps onto the field, the entire football world stops and watches. Add a hostile Seattle crowd, a primetime atmosphere, and two loaded rosters colliding late in the season, and you've got the recipe for one of the biggest NFL games of the year. So stay locked in because we're breaking down why this matchup could define the AFC, shake up the NFL power rankings, and remind everybody exactly why the Kansas City Chiefs are never out of the fight. Chiefs fans, let's talk about the elephant in the room first: the narrative that Kansas City is somehow entering a rebuild phase. Seriously, we've heard this before. Every single time people think the Chiefs are slowing down, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes come back stronger, smarter, and more dangerous. Even after roster turnover, injuries, or off-season drama, this franchise continues to reload instead of rebuild. The biggest reason is simple: Patrick Mahomes changes everything. Even when the offense isn't perfect, even when the supporting cast changes, Mahomes gives the Chiefs a chance to beat anybody on any field. That's why a road matchup in Seattle instantly becomes one of the most anticipated games of the entire season. The spotlight always follows number 15. And let's be real, Chiefs Kingdom, people love doubting Kansas City. They want to believe the dynasty window is closing. They want to crown the next AFC powerhouse. Buffalo wants it. Baltimore wants it. Cincinnati wants it. But until somebody consistently knocks the Chiefs off the mountain, this team remains the measuring stick of the NFL. Now imagine the atmosphere at Lumen Field if this game lands in primetime. Seattle already has one of the loudest stadiums in football, and Chiefs fans know road games against elite NFC opponents always feel massive. The energy would be absolutely insane from kickoff to the final whistle. The Seahawks have built a dangerous roster in recent years, especially on defense. Their speed, physicality, and aggressive play style could create one of the toughest challenges Mahomes faces all season. And if Seattle enters the game as defending NFC champions or Super Bowl contenders, the stakes become even bigger. But here's what makes Kansas City different from almost every other team in football: pressure situations don't scare them. Mahomes has built his legacy on surviving chaos. Loud crowds? Doesn't matter. Fourth quarter comeback needed? He's done it 100 times. Elite defense on the other side. That usually just unlocks another legendary performance. One thing Chiefs fans should pay close attention to entering 2026 is how the offense evolves. Travis Kelce continues to be one of the smartest and most reliable weapons in football, but the Chiefs know they must continue building for the future around Mahomes. That means younger receivers, explosive playmakers, and more balance in the running game become critical. Whether Kansas City adds another star or develops hidden talent internally, Andy Reid always finds creative ways to maximize what he has. That's why writing off this offense is always dangerous. And honestly, the possibility of a late-season showdown against Seattle could become the perfect measuring stick. Are the Chiefs still championship-level contenders? Can the offensive line handle elite pressure? Can the defense slow down explosive NFC offenses? Those questions would all be answered under the brightest lights imaginable. Speaking of the defense, we can't ignore how important Steve Spagnuolo's unit has become for this franchise. Over the last several seasons, Kansas City's defense has transformed from good enough into a legitimate game-changing group capable of carrying momentum in huge moments. Chris Jones continues to anchor the defensive front with dominance, leadership, and clutch playmaking. The secondary has become younger, faster, and more confident, and when the Chiefs' defense starts creating turnovers, this team becomes almost impossible to beat. That's why a matchup against Seattle would feel so fascinating. The Seahawks love explosive plays, creative formations, and attacking vertically down the field. But Spagnuolo's defenses thrive when offenses become impatient. Chess matches like that are exactly why NFL fans would be counting the days until kickoff. And Chiefs Kingdom, let's talk about the Mahomes legacy for a second. Every year, expectations somehow get even bigger. Most quarterbacks would collapse under that pressure, but Mahomes seems to feed off it. He doesn't just want to win games, he wants to dominate moments. That's why these marquee matchups matter so much. Games against Buffalo, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Philadelphia, and potentially Seattle become more than regular season contests. They become statements to the rest of the league. They shape MVP races, playoff positioning, and championship narratives. If Mahomes walks into Seattle and delivers another classic performance on national television, the entire NFL conversation changes overnight. Suddenly, all the Chiefs are declining takes disappear again, and Kansas City goes right back to the center of the Super Bowl conversation where they've lived for years. Another huge factor here is Andy Reid versus the new generation of NFL coaches. Every season, young offensive masterminds and defensive innovators try to outsmart the Chiefs, but Reid's experience, creativity, and adjustments continue to separate him from almost everybody else. What makes Reid special is that he evolves constantly. The Chiefs don't stay predictable. They adapt to roster changes, defensive trends, and league-wide shifts faster than most organizations. That's a massive reason why Kansas City remains elite year after year. Against a physical, disciplined team like Seattle, coaching adjustments would be everything. Clock management, red zone execution, defensive disguises, situational football. Games like this are usually decided by the smallest details, and Chiefs fans know Reid thrives in those moments. Now let's address the AFC picture because this is where things get really interesting. The conference is absolutely stacked. Josh Allen and the Bills remain dangerous. Lamar Jackson and Baltimore are hungry. Joe Burrow and Cincinnati are always lurking. And rising young teams continue trying to break through. But despite all that competition, nobody has consistently replaced Kansas City as the true kings of the conference. The Chiefs remain the team everyone measures themselves against. Even after difficult seasons, close playoff runs, or roster turnover, the standard in the AFC still runs through Arrowhead. That's why every major regular season game feels amplified for this franchise. Every matchup becomes a referendum on whether the dynasty is alive or fading. And if Kansas City enters Seattle with playoff implications attached, the intensity could feel almost postseason level. Chiefs fans are also going to love the emotional side of this potential showdown. Games like this bring out the passion of football, the crowd noise, the media hype, the endless debates online all week long, the feeling that the entire sports world is watching one game. Those are the moments Mahomes seems to enjoy the most. The brighter the lights get, the calmer he becomes. We've seen impossible throws, fourth-quarter miracles, overtime magic, and legendary comebacks. At this point, Chiefs Kingdom almost expects something special whenever Mahomes plays in a huge environment. And that's what makes this matchup feel so exciting even before the schedule officially releases. It's not just about wins and losses. It's about legacy, respect, momentum, and reminding the NFL that the Kansas City Chiefs are still one of the most dangerous teams on the planet. So now I want to hear from you. Chiefs Kingdom. If the Chiefs face Seattle in a primetime showdown at Lumen Field, what's your prediction? Does Mahomes silence the crowd and steal another legendary road win? Or could Seattle finally prove they belong among the NFL elite against Kansas City? Drop your score predictions in the comments right now and let me know which matchup you are most excited for during the 2026 NFL season. And if you believe the Chiefs are still headed for another Super Bowl run, make some noise in the comments because the doubters are already lining up again. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss breaking Kansas City Chiefs news, rumors, reactions, and updates. Chiefs Kingdom, the road back to the top is just getting started. And you already know Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are coming for everything.